President Clinton, the author of the book The System, Who Rigged It, How We Fix It, and the former secretary is with me. Sir, the number's good. It sort of takes interest rate cuts off the table, some would say. How do you read this number?
Well, I do think it's good. It is surprising, Richard. It is better than most people had anticipated, and I do think it does take interest rate cuts off the table, because I think that the Fed is now under no obligation, and certainly in no hurry, to speed the economy up, to invite inflation, some would say. So it's a good record. It's a good report.
I saw your comments online, though, of course, that you wrote, where you point out that if you go underneath, and as you're always reminding me, sir, you've got to go underneath the numbers. That's your one thing. Go underneath the numbers, and it's not quite as rosy.
That's right. Half of the new jobs were created in one. Economy, and that's healthcare. And the healthcare sector
Could that be used as a reason to cut interest rates on the basis of, look, we can cut rates because it's not like it's a generally inflationary job market?
Well, here's the problem. Healthcare is quite inflationary. Healthcare costs have been going up faster than most of the other costs in the economy. And construction work, that is, buildings, houses, again, costs have been going up faster than the rest of the economy. So it's not going to be credible for the Fed to say we don't really have to worry about inflation.
On this question of jobs and AI, I know you've been very concerned that this shift in the US labor force. We've heard earlier on, we heard on this program, one person saying, look, a lot of the job losses that have been taking place are economic. They're not because of AI. AI is being used as an excuse. But we are going to see serious dislocation of the labor market because of AI.
I think that's fair. A dislocation, though, is a very broad term, obviously. Many people are going to lose their jobs because the AI is simply going to take the jobs over. And this is particularly, ironically, true of white collar. The old, over the last 50 years, the job that have been lost due to technology have been primarily blue collar. Now we're going to see a lot of white collar displacement.
Because you were Labour Secretary during the start of the internet, during the dot-com era of the Clinton administration. At that time, was there genuine realisation of the necessity to retrain and that policies had to be? And the reason I say this is because we're always told that we didn't retrain after the internet, nor did we probably retrain after the fourth industrial revolution of digitization. Now with AI, are we about to make the same mistake?
I believe we are, Richard. I'll tell you why. Because retraining, or more broadly, all of the adaptive mechanisms that you would put in the economy, helping people go job, helping people get get assistance in moving from city to city, all the things that you want to do. There's no political support because a lot of people don't want to lose their jobs. And certainly, if you are an owner, if you are a major shareholder, you don't see why you have to bear the cost of doing all that adaptation.
Finally, Marsh of Fed. Now, he said he hasn't, given a bit much. The president has suggested that we would have got the job if it was about cut rates. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But are you, how do you view that appointment?
I think he's a very responsible economist. He has been so far. And most of the people I talk with on Wall Street, but also in the economy, are relatively positive or very positive about the appointment. And that is good news. Now, he comes in, nobody knows, frankly, how much of a hawk he's going to be.
I'm quite grateful, sir. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you. I'll try to say he told the Australian Prime Minister the US was trying to reach a deal with Iran. He met Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, their seventh meeting since Trump came back into office. The two leaders spoke for roughly 3 hours. And then President Trump posted that the meeting was very good, and he insisted negotiations with Iran will continue. Stephen Collins is in Washington. Stephen, who got what from this meeting?
Good question, because it was very interesting. We didn't get all sit down in front of the cameras and extended talk. We often see with foreign leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, whether that hits some kind of disagreement, we don't know, but the president came out of it saying he's still looking for a deal with Iran. Of course, Prime Minister Netanyahu has come across the Atlantic to visit American presidents many times over the last 20 years to be told they're looking for a deal with Iran. And as we know, he's deeply skeptical of that. So if we take the president at his word, and there are reasons why we might do so, since the last time he bombed Iran, he did exactly give us advance notice, the US and the Israelis may not clearly be on the same page here.
Right, but even if they're not agreeing on an individual policy, the two men do get on, and to that extent, they do business.
Yeah, and let's remember the president has huge political credibility among Israelis. That is very important. He's much more popular in Israel because of his policies than the previous US presidents. He also, in the eyes of many Israelis, has credibility because he did take that step that the previous American president had taken, and that was sending bombs around the world to bomb Iran's nuclear program. The problem is, can the president get a deal with Iran? The kind of deal that he wants is exactly the kind of deal that Iran would like to give him, because seeding on nuclear programs and ballistic missiles and proxies throughout the region, that takes away all of their bargaining chips, and it takes away the security of the regime. So it's quite clear that while he might want a diplomatic outcome right now, that could be a dead end for the president, and then he'll take the decision about does he take military action with certain consequences.
Stephen, I'm grateful for Stephen Collinson. Mr. Trent said he spoke to the Prime Minister about what he called tremendous progress in Gaza and the region, and then he said he pushed to move the Gaza ceasefire to the second phase of the 2020 plan. It involves demilitarization and reconstruction. The Prime Minister Netanyahu must start before reconstruction begins. Aaron David Miller is a former State Department Israeli negotiator now, senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Okay, so we've got the ceasefire, it's in place. We've got of sorts. We've got the prospect of border peace. Who knows? Now, though, the demilitarization of Hamas has to take place, if part two is to take place.
It does. It's really wrong. Look, it ain't going to happen. At least not anytime soon. If the Brits are following agreement from 1998 to 2005 to implement the decommissioning process. The IRA, Protestant military, and both of them, which were offered rolling governance. In post-top governance, it took 8 years to decommission. And they were exceedingly sensitive to do it quietly, discreetly, broke down, and had to restart. There was a lot of money gone on for these resolutions withdraw, or frankly, for Hamas, it's an opportunity to take over Palestinian national movement, which is what they want. Slim did on and said, I'm sorry to say, for 2 million Palestinians in Gaza and Israeli civilians, Slim already left. They could do affirmative, decommissioning, but they're not going to give up their guns.
Can I ask you about the border peace? What role is this going to have? Because the border peace was set up specifically regarding, never mind whether it's going to be UN light. It's related to Gaza.
Yeah. Border peace don't mediate conflicts. Mediate conflicts. President knows this. He mediated, like all of the predecessors, extraordinarily great pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu to do phase 1. And he's got his son and one of his best friends, even Wickoff, mediating, or trying to mediate, keep things from Iran and Ukraine. No, this is an operation in cup exercise. Seems to raise money. And the countries that are designed all in 3 categories. One, friends of Donald Trump. 2, those like Benjamin Netanyahu, one main friend of Donald Trump. And 3, a lot of countries. Sorry about that. A lot of countries have a legal, constitutional, political obstacles that come to sign up with a word where the President of the United States has a veto. According to the charter, all proposals. This isn't serious. As fundraising on our Cup, it could probably raise some money here, sitting here in Washington, wait next week, and see who actually shows up to the meeting.
As it's that idea, I kind of feeling that he may have been joking at one level when he talked about the release of Riviera. But I can't help feeling that there is an underlying wish, desire, truth in what the President actually thinks will happen there.
In other words, he actually maybe that Gaza is going to be a real estate deal and turn into a place where security and prosperity and development. I mean, I'd like to believe it too. That means any kind of conflict. It means provide humanitarian assistance. And it means building reconstruction. Hamas demilitarization. Israeli withdrawal. That's what needs to be done. The real estate reconstruction pieces of this are fine, but the security politics are going to have to take first order of resolution before you can even get to that point.
How very inconvenient you put those funds on the table, Miller, and to my role, always happy to do with you. I'm very grateful for you. Thank you for joining us. No. Yay! The administration and the extra and also now why was those in that place? Well, it's all to do with a Pentagon counter-drone laser, which was going to test it. But tested on how and why. I promise you. Absolutely.
basically chef on this kind of movement. You have become one of the most visible ambassadors watching Africa cooking. I just feel sidelined from somebody else African Voices on CNN in association with weekdays on CNN. I appreciate this whole area just engulfed in flames. We witnessed something no eye has ever seen before. You think that AI could wipe out half of all entry-level jobs? How soon might that happen? Every night, the world. How do you make the case that the USAID mission was as an international country? And then from the 60 weekdays on CNN. Here's a great breakdown you can find out front. The real question comes down to where is the Supreme Leader? Where are we when it comes to inflation? Direct, in-depth, and raw. Do you think that Pam Bondi is hiding something? Hell yeah, I think she's hiding something. Getting ahead of the biggest stories and giving you context you won't find anywhere else. We are in an unprecedented moment. Do you like capitalism? No, I don't think it's capitalism. Aaron out front. Weekday on CNN. Every day we take a step back to look at the big picture, from decisions made in Washington to the ripple effects across Asia, Europe, and beyond. We follow the story as it unfolds and hear every voice to make sure the information is clear, fair, and relevant to you in a world packed with noise, facts, matter. That's what we do here. This is the brief.
We opened the space around El Paso Airport in Texas after it was an unprecedented shutdown. But on Tuesday, the administration regrounded all flights for 10 days. And then lifted the restrictions hours later. The Trump administration at the time claimed a Mexican cartel drone across the US airspace. Now we're hearing the shutdown was driven by the Pentagon's plan to use a counter-drone laser. And they never coordinated with the aviation authority. Tim Dean joins me from Washington. I don't think anybody would deny or doubt the why, the wisdom of stopping the aviation for 10 days, not knowing what's happening, and then finding it was the all along. That's a real business.
Yeah, it was a lot of mystery and segments here that really caused a lot of confusion. Not only reporters trying to get to the bottom of this, but also in the aviation space. You just have to remember, color this against so much that happened in aviation in the United States. The Federal Aviation Administration has really trying to ramp up its ability to insulate civilian air traffic from military air traffic, especially since the military not far from National Airport outside Washington, D.C. only a year ago. We now know why the Federal Aviation Administration shut down airspace over El Paso, because multiple sources are telling me and our team covering national security here that this was all because the Pentagon planned to use this high-energy laser that could have essentially melted drones flying over the U.S.-Mexico border. This really sort of became an international incident for a moment. Thankfully, though, this all ended in about 8 hours' time. Now we really need to know what exactly precipitated this. We know from some sources that the use of this weapon took place on some Mylar party balloons not far from El Paso International Airport in neighboring Fort Bliss. And so that really calls into question whether or not those using this weapon, the military using this weapon, had really any idea what they were doing.
Fascinating, isn't it? Think about it.
Yes.
I think, I agree. It is regretful if you found out that the drone hit the place. I understand why they say things. But if we just talk about the weapon, to have this very far out, flying by automatically, and then melt on the tasty.
Well, to melt something, lasers also cause this problem in aviation. We know from you can buy a laser off Amazon.com and point it at an airplane. Frankly, do this all the time, and also ultimately face criminal charges that can blind the pilot in an airplane. The most important instrument on any airplane is a pilot's eyes, and so lasers really pose a risk. And then this weapon, which is able to essentially heat elements of a drone up, cause them to literally melt down, is something the military loves this idea, because it's not very expensive, it's not kinetic, meaning they don't have to expend shells or something to do that, and it causes very little danger to those around. So this is a really interesting emerging technology, and the military here in the United States has been sort of rallying around this idea, and it's especially useful in a place like El Paso, Texas, where there's not much humidity, the air is relatively clear, you can point it at something relatively easily, although you have to point it at the right thing, and that apparently was the concern that the Federal Aviation Administration had here.
I'm glad to hear you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for Washington. The Attorney General has testified at the Friday hearing on Capitol Hill. The AG repeatedly clashed with lawmakers over the Justice Department's handling of the Epstein file. In one heated moment, Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin accused the Department of a massive cover-up.
You redacted the names of abusers, enablers, accomplices, and co-conspirators, apparently to spare them embarrassment and disgrace, which is the exact opposite of what the law ordered you to do. You're running a massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Department of Justice.
Now, that was sort of giving it to her. But when you do to the full law, she absolutely, she called one lawyer a second-rate actor. She left no stone unturned. This was ugly, disrespectful, arguably on both sides, and I'm not sure we learned anything.
Richard, I don't think anyone would disagree with you compared to the combativeness in that hearing, where both sides were slinging insults at each other. There was really little new information that came out. Democrats were focusing a lot of their questions on the Epstein victims, on the Justice Department's redaction failures, bringing this attention to Bondi, actually pointing out to her that there were victims in the room standing behind her, giving her an opportunity to express some empathy toward them. And while Bondi said that she was deeply sorry about what they went through, she would not even acknowledge them in the room. Instead, she was shifting the attention to the prior administration. And also, a number of themes that developed throughout this. Bondi was trying to push her message of combating violent crime and going after immigration enforcement, but she would have to routinely ask Republicans to give her 20 seconds back in order to flip to a page in the binder to attack the Democrat in his local district for some crime that was not intended to. So one of the Democratic lawmakers actually said he was giving her more time, and he said, flip to the page in your book. I want to hear what you have to say about me.
Right, listen to this another exchange. When you hear you start to wonder why they bother having these hearings, whatever the Democratic approach was. Listen, I'm talk more.
You can let us all day long, but not an hour long. Not on our time, no way. I told you about that Attorney General before you started.
You don't tell me.
I didn't tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
The look on her face as she said, you don't tell me anything, you washed-up lawyer, you're not even a lawyer. It's very difficult to have discourse on either side when you've got that sort of exchange.
Yeah, and that's why there really was not a lot of new information that came out here, because she would be asked questions, and it was just this pattern that kept playing out, where she would deflect when it came to the Democrats, and then sometimes when it was the Republican, it was more of a self-serving opportunity for her to praise President Trump and to further some of the points of their agenda, but there really was not new information that came out, no answers for the victims about some of these redaction failures. No questions really even asked about Minnesota and what the Justice Department would do there, where law enforcement officials have shot and killed U.S. citizens. There are no lawmakers from Minnesota on that committee, and none of their colleagues kind of took that up as an issue. So really, we did not learn a whole lot about some of these hot issues at the Justice Department and how that's going to be handled going forward.
I'm grateful to you, thank you. Who was listening to the argument, downright arguing, taking place in Congress. Thank you. Canada. tonight in shock. Two dead shootings. Messages of support coming in around the world, and the police have now identified this.
Tokyo at night is something else. The city feels alive. Wow. Like you can taste the energy. It's where traditional music put in. And every step like a new discovery. Tokyo is truly unforgettable.
These little creatures love to relax, but they are also very hard workers. This year, a family of beavers has helped restore a wet ecosystem in the Czech Republic, doing what humans had planned and saving over $1 million. No concrete, no cost, just nature doing its thing. Be part of the movement. Find out more on cnn.com/culture in partnership with Ringrock and its Perpetual Planet Initiative.
We've shared the story of Africa's brightest stars, and now we're opening up the conversation. Raw, real, and revealing. This is African Voices.
This week, Chef Marcus Samuelson.
You have become one of the most visible ambassadors of Black African cooking.
I can't just sit on the sideline with somebody else.
African Voices on CNN in association with Globe. This is One World.
The world's top headlines with some of the world's biggest players.
Stories that captivate from two unique perspectives.
What does that mean? Why the escalation?
One World with Zain Asher and Bianca Rodriga. Weekdays on CNN.
In a divided America, where do I fit this? Abdullah brings all sides to the table.
One thing hypocrisy is so rampant. Classes in session to
Talk about issues.
Congresswoman, is false. The answer is zero.
The policy.
What is the Democratic Party like?
We ask questions and then the business to wrap up your day.
I hear what you're saying, Trump policies, but do you think it's a good idea?
Please, I get Abdullah Tuesdays and Saturdays on CNN.
My name is Mashaka. I'm from Jeddah, and I'm a professional freediver. I currently hold the record for the deepest female freediver in the GCCs, and I have 9 records for Saudi Arabia. It's very free, feel very much connected with the nature and so forth. The Red Sea is honestly one of the most gorgeous places to dive and visit. It's very lively and it's famous for its corals mostly.
I'm Gabriela Diaz in Mexico City, and this is CNN.
Hello, together, we've got more best business. The head of Israel is caught to testify in a landmark social media trial, and the Polish economy is one of the hottest in Europe. I'll talk to two of the country's most prominent investors only after headlines, because this is CNN and news comes from us. President Trump hosted the Israeli Prime Minister at the White House with ongoing tensions in Iran at the top of the agenda. Mr. Trump says he will continue seeking a diplomatic arrangement despite skepticism within the Israeli government. TMZ said it's a new related to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The site says the note from someone who claims to know who took her. It demands one Bitcoin in exchange for the information. CNN reached out to the FBI archive, but they had a comment. Followers in Arizona man being detained and questioned, and then subsequently released. Humanic actor James Van Dyke has died at 48. Best known as leading role in the 19teen drama Dawson's Creek. Van Dyke revealed in 2024 that he had stage 3 colorectal cancer. He leaves behind a wife and 6 children. Canada have identified the person they say is the suspect in the killing of at least 8 people in Tumalo Ridge, Canada. They say the gunman opened fire at a secondary school in the remote mountain town, and then they got themselves got off. Two people were found dead in a home nearby. Authorities have previously believed an additional person had died from significant injuries. The Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney addressed the people of Tumbler Ridge earlier.
This morning, families in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, woke to a different world. Parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters began this day as their first day on earth without someone they loved dearly. What happened has left our nation in shock and all of us in mourning.
Paula is with me, the Prime Minister, doing the father of the nation, as they unfortunately end up having to do with these things. But the awfulness of the attack, what do we know now?
We learned so much more in the last few hours. We finally received an update from police. So feature it, Richard. You're in this small town, very close-knit, about 2,500 people. Yesterday afternoon, early afternoon, an active shooter alert goes out. Police are there, Richard, within 2 minutes. And yet 6 people described already as very young are already dead. 27 others injured, 2 dead at another home, and the suspect apparently injured, self-inflicted injury, police are calling it. Now, at that other home as well, we learned that the suspect, now identified as 18-year-old Jessie Van Roetselaar, had killed her mother and a sibling. Police still have no idea what the motive was here, Richard, but incredibly disturbing to learn that they said they are familiar with the suspect, that they've been called to the suspect's residence several times over the last few years for mental health issues. And also disturbing, Richard, the fact that there are issues here with firearms, and firearms had been taken away from the household at least once, and then whoever owned them had petitioned to get them back, and indeed did get them back. I mean, look, so much shock, anger now as well, and grief striking not just this community, but coast to coast in Canada. And Richard, I want you to listen to the Prime Minister again, because he was as emotional as I have ever seen him.
This morning, parents, grandparents, sisters, brothers in Tumbler Ridge will wake up without someone they love. The nation mourns with you. Canada stands by. We will get through this, we will learn from this. But right now it's a time to come together as Canadians always do in these situations, these terrible situations, to support each other, to mourn together, and to grow together.
Notice, Richard, he did say we will learn from this, and I think as this investigation continues, that's what Canadians want to know, right? How do we avoid this another time?
Yeah, we've had mass shootings before. The laws have been changed, along with other nations. It's not unique. So the question here is going to be what more needs to be done. And it sounds like from the early facts that we are gauging, we're talking about a more rigorous approach with firearm protection, but also mental health and behavioural health issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And police, the investigative here, are already taking that route. Now, Richard, police say they have no idea what the motive would have been here, but they do understand that they knew there were firearms in that house, and they knew that there were firearms back into that home. Given the fact that you had what was clearly an ongoing mental health crisis in the home, what more can be done? And people in this small community have already indicated, Richard, that they did not feel they had the mental health supports in the community, the kind of supports that they really need.
Paula, I'm great. Thank you. From Ottawa. Isabelle is the French, of course, whose horrifying story of mass rape caught all our attention, has now been speaking to France 5, the network. She tells Telegraph to take an unusual approach. You remember she waived her right to anonymity. She made the trial against her abusers public. This is her first televised interview since that historic trial ended. There were 51 guilty verdicts.
It
été violent, c'est entendre dire que...
It was brutal hearing that I wasn't trustworthy, that I must have given my consent, that I was an accomplice, that this woman could not have possibly been unaware of what was happening. If you watch the videos, you see that this woman is anaesthetized. There's no life left in her. I wasn't able to address Mr. Pellico directly during the trial, and we haven't spoken in over 5 years. And that's part of my healing journey, to go and have a conversation with him, look him directly in the eye, and ask him why. Why did you do that?
She's written a memoir to life. Shame has changed sides. The head of Instagram has testified in a landmark social media trial. The plaintiff is accusing several platforms of creating addictive apps.
Time to bring harmony back to the forest. Please join us. Save the tigers.
Africa is moving fast into the future, and on the link, Zain Asher is keeping you up to date.
Join me as we take a look at how plugging in and going digital has changed the game.
Witness Africa transform with the latest technology. Players behind the ball.
There is an amazing commitment. This will bring developments, jobs, innovation.
The Link on CNN, in association with MTN.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Happiness could lead to living longer. You want to know how? On my podcast, Chasing Life, I'm uncovering the secrets of people around the world who are living happy, healthy, extraordinary lives. Hear how they do it? Science behind why it works. Join me as I reveal their secrets and discover how we can chase life together. Listen to Chasing Life with me, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, wherever you get your podcasts.
CNN World Sport.
Non-stop action year-round. I have a lot of things to give to the football. All the major events.
I love where the game is going right now.
What does it take for me to be even better?
And tournaments.
Emotions sometimes are impossible to control. The latest highlights.
Women's sport is having a moment that it should have always had.
And exclusive interviews with your favorite coaches and players. So we're going to keep this thing rolling. Don't miss CNN World Sport.
Only on CNN.
The head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, has testified in a landmark social media trial today. Instagram's owner, Meta, and YouTube are being accused of designing addictive apps that damaged the plaintiff's mental health. Mosseri said he doesn't think users can be clinically addicted to Instagram. The chief executive of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, is finally expected to testify next week. Both Meta and YouTube are denying any wrongdoing. Our business tech editor, Lisa Adiraccio, joins us now. Look, the problem I've got with this, in a sense, is the arguments are very well known, very well rehearsed. The evidence has been known for some time. There's a performative nature of going through it, but at the end of the day, a judge or jury is going to have to come up to a decision.
Yes, and I think that's what we're seeing in this trial so far, in this testimony today. We're really seeing a lot of, pressure from the plaintiff's lawyer trying to peel back the curtain on how Instagram makes those decisions around how it runs its platform. And for example, to kind of show the jury and make its case. And one thing that came up today in the proceedings that didn't really come up in the opening remarks yesterday was how Instagram makes decisions around allowing beauty filters on the platform. That was a big topic today. The plaintiff's lawyer cited some internal Meta documents that indicated that Meta executives, when making decisions about those features, acknowledged that they could be harmful. And Adam Mosseri did say at first that Instagram decided to ban those kinds of filters outright, but then eventually decided to allow some, but ban others that were more harmful, that seemed to promote cosmetic surgery. So I think that's kind of the point of this testimony that we're seeing here, is to really peel back the curtain on how a lot of those decisions were made. And Meta's argument has been that Instagram has not played a big role in the mental health challenges that the plaintiff has faced. So we expect them to also kind of reiterate that point moving forward as well.
You know, on this program, we interviewed the author of a book some years ago called How to Break Up with Your Phone. And when I read that sort of goes into a lot of the evidence that shows about the dopamine hit, the reward, limbic part of the brain, all that sort of stuff that they play on these apps in that. I'm imagining that as this trial continues, there'll be a lot of that sort of evidence.
Yeah, and that's the main argument of the plaintiff. And again, I think that's a really important point because of a lot of the concerns that have been brought up about social media over the last several years. The one that's really at the center of this trial is how these platforms are engineered and whether or not they're addictive. Not so much the content that's on the platform. That is not what we're expecting to hear about in this trial because of a law called Section 230 that shields tech platforms from having liability for the content that users post. But really, this is about whether these platforms are engineered to hook in young users, to keep them addicted to these platforms. And so the plaintiff's lawyer in his opening remarks called them digital casinos of dopamine hits for young users.
Now, before I let you go, a Meta spokesman has told CNN the question for the jury in Los Angeles is whether Instagram was a substantial factor in the plaintiff's mental health struggles. The evidence will show she faced many significant difficult challenges well before she ever used social media. This is, I mean, you take it from there.
Yeah, and I think that's the argument that Meta has been making here, that it was her difficult upbringing, her childhood, that has contributed to her mental distress, not Instagram. The plaintiff's lawyers said that she started using Instagram at age 9, which is below the age of allowance, which is 13. You're supposed to be 13 and older to use Instagram. But yes, that is Meta's argument here, is they're going to make the case and try to prove to the jury that Instagram did not play a substantial role in what she was dealing with.
I'm grateful. Thank you very much indeed. Sara Investments is partnering with Nobu to open a cultural district in Krakow in Poland. In a moment, you'll hear more.
Africa is moving fast into the future, and on The Link, Zain Asher is keeping you up to date.
Join me as we take a look at how plugging in and going digital has changed the game.
Witness Africa transform with the latest technology.
Our entire mission is to solve humanity's greatest challenges leveraging data and AI. We're solving really massive problems at national scale.
And the key players behind them all.
There is an amazing alignment of vision. This will bring developments, jobs, innovation.
The Link on CNN, in association with MTN. This is Uganda's Bwindi Impenetrable Forest, one of Africa's most biodiverse ecosystems, home to mountain gorillas once nearly extinct. But thanks to local heroes and communities, their numbers have risen from 300 to nearly 460, a beacon of hope for conservation. Be part of the movement. Find out more on cnn.com/call to earth, in partnership with Rolex and its Perpetual Planet Initiative.
Every day we take a step back to look at the big picture, from decisions made in Washington to the ripple effects across Asia, Europe, and beyond. We follow the story as it unfolds and hear every voice to make sure the information is clear, fair, and relevant to you. In a world packed with noise, facts matter. That's what we do here. This is The Brief.
Jeddah is my city. I love it. It lies along the Red Sea coast. Most of our resorts or beaches are hidden. There's a lot of things you can do.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's go.
It's like a therapy. You're alone. You're just pulling the rope and and it's an amazing feeling. You're in the middle of the sea, and that's like a therapeutic feeling.
Weekdays on CNN.
Tonight on 360.
The stories that matter.
This whole area is just engulfed in flames.
From a trusted voice.
We witnessed something nobody alive has ever seen before. You said that AI could wipe out half of all entry-level jobs. How soon might that happen?
A fearless eyewitness.
We've just gotten a red alert to go down to the bomb shelter.
Every night makes sense of the world.
How do you make the case that USAID's previous mission was in the United States' national interest?
Anderson Cooper 360. Weekdays on CNN.
Last year, the Polish economy topped $1 trillion, making it one of Europe's fastest growing and now in the top 20, according to the IMF. Not surprisingly, with all of that growth, real estate is booming and developers are looking to build. SO Investments has hotels, residences and offices across Poland. It partnered with Nobu to open a cultural district in Krakow next year. You'll remember I spoke to the co-founders of Nobu Hospitality, Mayor Tepper, Chef Nobu and Robert De Niro. We spoke in November.
It's more of a cultural center that is not just a restaurant and a hotel. There's a museum, too. They're also putting one of my father's artworks in there, actually, they just showed it to us before. So it's a whole other thing. It makes a lot of sense.
Now, Filip Adamczak and Greg Skawinski are the founders of SO Investments, joining me from Krakow. Good evening to you both. Let's start with you, Filip. This investment, this project, besides the Nobu aspect to it, what makes it particularly special in your view?
It's amazing because it's a combination of well-being, culture, hospitality, and community. So we are trying to bring something what is very tricky and difficult, but on the other hand, people need it now. So Nobu is the lifestyle brand and the best restaurant in the world. So our combination with this brand in this particular project and in the cultural capital of Poland is something natural, challenging, but our experience and the Nobu experience will give us for sure something completely different, and for sure will be an extraordinary project.
So basically saying it's not a building, it's the destination. So this is what we want to create. And as you said from the very beginning, Polish economy is growing, and of course the cities like Krakow and Warsaw, they follow. So there's a lot of space for luxury products. And of course, brands like Nobu are on the scope of our operational activity in Poland.
The growth in the Polish real estate market, I'm always sort of, whenever I hear about it, you always wonder whether it's a bit Wild Westish, because it has boomed so fast going on, whether or not it's sustainable. What do you think?
Yeah, of course, the economy is moving fast, so we see it all over the world, and Poland is not different. Besides that, Poland is you can see that the stabilization of the market is going along with the trend. So right now, what we see with the real estate is that it's stabilized on a certain level, but we see it growing in the future.
And on the same time, I will add that we are still hungry. We are still hungry, hardworking, well-educated. So Polish people are also pushing the things forward.
Okay, but there's also a war on your borders, and I realise that's not your personal, in a sense, that's not your personal problem. But if the economy goes down because of these geopolitical risks, real estate gets affected and can be quite badly affected in a short-term way.
It might be affected. Of course, the war is a terrible thing, and it's going on our board. So we see it, but at the same time, we see that this segment of luxury investments, luxury products, is going to be affected the less. And we saw it in the past.
Right.
We're probably
That's
going to
true.
see it in the future.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about who's buying. Who's buying all this property? Who's buying, Philippe, these apartments? Who's investing in it? Where is the money coming from?
I think it's a mixture of different clients and different needs. But for sure, the first option is someone who is looking for something completely different, and especially the services are the key. So high quality services is the main factor why they are choosing the branded residences as a place to be or invest. And the other thing is the clients who want to protect their monies. So because the product like branded residences, if you look at all the numbers all over the world, they always keep the price and grow stability.
And of course, we have to be honest that at certain level, the domestic demand is huge because we have lots of affluent class growing. So we see that people want to spend money here because we see it also on the national level. That's a lot of capital inflowing to Poland, of course, to the architectural and infrastructure products. But in the cities like Warsaw, Krakow, and other regional cities, there's a lot of domestic demand on that.
And Krakow is an amazing city. And yeah,
it is. But I tell you,
Krakow is an amazing city. So that's why also the reason why, because of the history and architecture, that's why also people want to be here in this city. It's number one city during the many rankings. Right. Municipality is also amazing. So everyone is focused on how to improve the life. And I think it's also the key here.
And we look forward to bringing Crestmead's business to Krakow at some point. I'm grateful to you, sir. Thanks very much. Thank you. Now, to the Olympics. Drama on the ice in the Olympic figure skating. The ice dance favourites. The Americans Madison Chalk and Evan Bates are taking to the ice for their attempt. Their main competitor, a pair of skaters from France, will follow that. We'll find out who won gold in the first individual competition in just a moment. There's been a lot of gold. In fact, here's CNN's Coy Wire.
These mountains here in northern Italy are beautiful and they are fast. And we already have a new king of speed. Over in Bormio, one of the breakout stars at these Winter Games, young Swiss skier Franjo van Almen, taking gold in men's Alpine Super G. It's an historic third gold after the 24-year-old clinched gold in the men's downhill and team combined events. He's the first male Alpine skier to win 3 golds at the same game since 1968. This is his Olympic debut. Franjo has an inspiring story as well. When he was a teenager, his dad passed away, and it looked like Franjo wouldn't be able to continue the sport he loved for financial reasons until a crowdfunding project was set up to help him, and the rest, as they say, is history. Chloe Kim stepping into the halfpipe like Maximus in the arena, her first appearance at these games, and the 25-year-old dominated, making it look easy, finishing as the top qualifier. But as Wise Man once said, it's not easy to make it look easy. Chloe has had to overcome a nasty dislocated shoulder injury to get here and deal with all the pressures that come with being the best. But she did, and now she's one shred closer to a three-peat. No Olympian has ever won 3 straight snowboard half-pipes. She's the Simone Biles of the half-pipe. A long time coming. She says she's learned a lot on this journey, especially since winning her first gold at just 17 years old in Pyeongchang. Listen to this.
As I've gotten older, I've started to learn more about myself and kind of what my boundaries are and what I'm capable of doing. Maybe like sometimes I need to learn when to back off, and I think taking a lot of time off has been really important for me and my mental well-being. It's been a really beautiful journey to learn more about myself and kind of discover who I am as a 25-year-old now.
American superstar speed skater Jordan Stolz the show, taking the ice for the first time here at these Winter Olympics, setting a new Olympic record in the men's 1,000 meter. He was just 17 the last Winter Games. He'd won 2 world titles in this event, and now gold. His first Olympic medal. Jordan is built for speed. He told us ahead of these games he wished people knew how brutally tiring this event is. Crouched down, zipping around those blades in that rink about 35 miles per hour, about the same speed as the horses at the Kentucky Derby. Hard work paid off. His first Olympic medal for Team USA.
Excellent stuff. You and I will have a profitable moment after the break. Crestmead's Business, midweek edition.
Africa is moving fast into the future, and on the link, Zain Asher is keeping you up to date.
Join me as we take a look at how plugging in and going digital has changed the game.
Witness Africa transform with the latest technology.
Our entire mission is to solve humanity's greatest challenges leveraging data and AI. We're solving really massive problems at national scale.
And the key players behind them all.
There is an amazing alignment of vision. This will bring developments, jobs, innovation.
The Link on CNN, in association with MTN. This is One World.
The world's top headlines with some of the world's biggest players.
Stories that captivate from two unique perspectives.
What does that mean for wider escalation?
One World with Zain Asher and Biana Golodriga. Weekdays on CNN.
Oh, there are big explosions taking place. We need to get our flak jackets on. These troops are Russian airborne forces. You can see it from Gershkovich's in there. Are you holding up all right? There are so many people who are coming out to pay their last respects to the Russian opposition leader.
We have thousands of people. They need us to help them.
Are you still optimistic?
The best is in front of us.
Here's a breakdown of what you can find out front. The real question comes down to, where is the supreme leader? Where are we when it comes to inflation? Direct, in-depth, and raw. Do you think that Pam Bondi is hiding something?
Hell yeah, I think she's hiding something.
Getting ahead of the biggest stories and giving you context you won't find anywhere else. We are in an unprecedented moment. Do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism.
Aaron Burnett out front. Weekdays on CNN.
When you travel the world, make sure the world travels with you. Check in, log on, and get connected with all of the latest developments at your fingertips. CNN Partner Hotels, connected to your world.
I'm Becky Anderson at the Louvre, Abu Dhabi. This is CNN.
Tonight's profitable moment. Let me preface this is not a political comment I'm about to make, but I found that the Bondi hearings in Congress were simply depressing. On both sides, it was how many points could you score and how abusive could you be. There used to be a rubric in the game where at least the person before the committee would at least pay lip service of respect. Maybe in the McCarthy hearings of the 1950s it was different, and there was some nastiness, but today it's a blood sport of brutality. And I do wonder whether they couldn't all learn something from the Olympics. The way in which people go and compete as hard as you possibly can. You give no quarter. You give no rest. But when it's over, you recognize who won, who lost, and you move forward. The problem here in Congress is it's a never-ending game and a never-ending process. Bit like Crosby's Business. That's Crosby's Business for tonight. I'm Richard Crest in New York. Never ending. Whenever you're up to in the hours ahead, lots of dongs. I hope it's profitable. We'll be back here together, you and me, tomorrow.